I was recently asked a question in the comments of a previous video. What do you recommend doing if your videos are only getting 1 to 5 views? Now, honestly, I was in that position at one time. And we're going to answer this question more in depth, but to give you a simplified answer, you need to work on packaging your content. Packaging your content in a way that attracts your specific type of viewer. So let's dive in. So, packaging. What is packaging? Packaging your YouTube content is the equivalent of assembling all of your valued material and having it on display for your viewer in an attractive way that makes them want to watch what you have to offer. Think of it like marketing. For example, my background is in the film industry, so movie trailers. Movie trailers are an essential part of the marketing process when a movie is distributed to theaters. The trailers are meant to spark your curiosity and interest. These movie trailers then influence you to watch the full movie in theaters when it comes out. And also, remember to watch movies in theaters because that is the better experience than watching it on your TV at home. Just saying. Movies are also packaged by movie poster designs. Not YouTube thumbnails per se, but like large movie poster designs. Their designs are carefully instructed with the sole purpose of providing you that additional information from the movie without giving you any spoilers. Although some movie posters have given spoilers, in return for this carefully constructed and creative movie poster, the people who made it are expecting you to watch that movie. So I'm from Arizona and we have a lot of Harkins theaters around our valley. So if I were to go to a Harkins theaters, I find a movie poster right next to the ticket booth and I'm thinking, that looks really interesting and it looks really creative. I recognize some of the actors in it and it's in the genre that I really like. My favorite genre is horror, by the way. So you look at the movie poster and you're like, maybe I want to watch that next time because you already came to the movie theater looking for a specific movie, but now you have that movie on your mind. So then that's where I'd add that movie poster to my watch later playlist, let's say. So because of the psychology and attractiveness that went into the movie poster, that's what influenced me to watch that movie. Now, whether if it was good or bad, that's a different story. The point I'm trying to get across is the packaging, the influence to get you to watch that thing. So packaging, how do you do it? I mean, it seems like it's such a complicated process. Yeah, sure, pictures and thumbnails are a thing, but what about titles, descriptions, and just getting that message across? Well, first of all, you want to create a catchy title that evokes human interest, not something from a robot. And I've watched a lot of YouTube seminars on this exact process. And I've read the YouTube Formula, YouTube Secrets, which those two books are really fascinating. And I have links down below in the description if you'd like to check them out. But yeah, you want to create a catchy title that is interesting to a human's perspective. Something that evokes curiosity, makes the human want more. There's also the tactic of FOMO, fear of missing out. So maybe you have something incredibly valuable to offer, and if they don't click on that video, they're gonna miss out. So how can you package your video in a way to spark that interest? And we also gotta remember the value in our topic. Not everybody's gonna be interested in the same topic that you're creating, so think about the type of viewer that's watching or potentially going to watch your video, and think about the topic that they're interested in. The next thing that definitely gets overlooked a lot, and I definitely overlooked it myself as a beginning creator, thumbnails. Thumbnails are the first thing someone sees before deciding to watch your video. Again, what I said about movie trailers and movie posters. They act essentially like the same thing when it comes to YouTube. You want your YouTube thumbnail to complement your YouTube title. You don't want it to be exactly the same thing as what your YouTube title is saying, but something that evokes more curiosity and emotions, something that triggers your viewer into wanting to watch that video. And some really good thumbnails will often tease the information that you're potentially going to be getting from the video. They'll tease that in the forefront, and therefore you're like, I gotta click on this video, what am I missing? It kind of goes to the fear of missing out. And another thing to pay attention to with your thumbnails is focusing on your brand. What is your main color scheme? What type of font are you using most of the time? Is your face in your YouTube thumbnail? If not, then what are you showing that evokes emotional interest that people want to click on your video? For this video, I used my face to express concern, fear, and what am I missing? Because you guys are most likely feeling the same way. And if I didn't have my face on the thumbnail, it would kind of have less authority. You would kind of think it was AI created or something was missing. And most importantly, your thumbnail needs but brightness and contrast and something that stands out from the rest of the crowd. And when it comes to the overall display, the exposure, and the contrastiness of your thumbnail, it needs to look like something kind of different, but also similar to stuff that is working? How can you make your thumbnail look kind of similar to another video that got over 300,000 views because that concept is working, but how can you make it different and more appealing to your type of viewer? I was recently on a YouTube masterclass for free with Nolan. He's a YouTube strategist that I've been following for a very long time. I love his stuff. He's real and authentic and just a lot to offer. But this concept is kind of what we discussed in the Q&A portion of his presentation. And I'll have a link to Nolan's channel down below as well, so you can check out his content too. So we've got a catchy title, a catchy thumbnail, and now that the viewers clicked on your video, we want them to stay. So in order to make them stay, we need to have a catchy hook. This hook is going to address what your viewer came for and why they need to stay. Not why they should stay, but why they need to stay. And as a filmmaker and storyteller, I can tell you right now that storytelling is the essence and one of the most important things when keeping your audience on your video. You want to address or have some sort of conflict that keeps your audience interested, wanting more. So in other words, your hook needs to have an interesting storyline that catches your viewer's attention. Introduce the problem and tease how you can fix it without giving away the full answer in the beginning of your video. You want to give them that appetizer before their entree comes to the table, right? And the difference between YouTube and movies are the fact that movies last longer. They are like an hour and 30 minutes long. Feature films, movies, often have slower hooks because they have a longer amount of time to build the conflict because it's an hour and 30 minutes long. But when you're making a YouTube video, depending on your type of content, you don't have that much time to hook your viewer in. It's not like you're creating an hour and a half long video. That would be more like a podcast, if anything. But when you're making your YouTube video, depending on the topic and the type of content it is, you don't have that much time. Your hook needs to be in front of your viewer almost immediately, and it has to be something interesting to them if you want them to stay longer. Now let's talk about some problematic packaging that could hurt some people if they were to create their videos this way. Making videos with titles and thumbnails that just don't correlate to each other. Plus the video has a boring hook, like why should I care about the video? It has nothing to do with what I clicked on. I'm out. Or perhaps it does have the intention of providing the value of what the title states, but it's happening too slow and I just don't have time for it. Another hurting factor is videos that don't correlate to each other on your YouTube channel. You have too many random topics, and honestly, I am guilty of this as charged, being a beginning YouTube creator. I've done a bunch of stuff in my early days that just did not correlate, and I'm like, why is this not working? And there's a reason. But think about it. You go to someone's YouTube video, that's how you learn about their channel. Then you go on their channel and you find there are just so many other video topics that just don't relate to each other. Like, why would you want to subscribe? What are you getting when you subscribe to that channel? Like, you don't know what you're in for. Here are some interests and video titles that wouldn't correlate to each other on a YouTube channel. If I were to make videos on filmmaking, which I do on this channel, but if I were to make videos on filmmaking and then suddenly talk about yard work and why I bought this lawnmower because it cuts grass like no tomorrow, like, that just wouldn't seem right, would it? And I'm also a baseball fan, so if I were to talk about filmmaking, but then suddenly make a video strictly about the Diamondbacks, because Arizona, I'm an Arizona Diamondbacks fan, it just wouldn't correlate to each other. Like, sure, we're all into baseball, but what does that have to do with filmmaking? It can relate to filmmaking, but that's another kind of niche that this channel would need to incorporate. So those are some problematic packaging examples that you definitely don't want to follow. But hey, if random content somehow works for you and you've become successful with it, then teach me your method. I want to learn. If you're still not getting views, another important strategy is to be honest and truthful in your videos. Being real with your audience is one of the most important things you can do, because if your audience doesn't trust you, what makes you think they're going to come back and listen to you again? And I'm also an actor, and I've been taking some acting classes lately, and I want to incorporate some things that I've learned. Essentially, when you're on YouTube, you're providing a piece of yourself. You're giving a piece of yourself to the person on the other end. Because yes, I'm talking to a camera lens, but ultimately, I'm talking to maybe thousands of other people who are watching my video. I don't know how big this video might get, but I'm making it because I know I have something important to share. You want to find your authentic approach. What makes you, you? I said this quote in a previous video, but we have so many actors in this world, but what we don't have is you. There are a lot of YouTube channels out there, but one of those YouTube channels doesn't have you. So no one else can be who you are. No one else can say the things that you say in the tone of voice that you say, unless you're trying to mimic someone else, which that's another story. Who you are and what you do and what you say, that's all you. So just always take that into consideration when recording your next videos. Don't think too much about what other people are doing. Think about who you are and what you represent. It's also important to be conversational. Hopefully I've been conversational in this video as you've been watching it. Again, you're not talking to a camera lens. Let's say you're talking to your best friend. You're not even talking to a camera lens. Hi Megan, I'm talking to you right now. When you talk in a conversational manner, you're building a deeper connection with your audience. You're really, again, providing a piece of yourself and showing that, hey, I'm not afraid to be me and this is what it is. You're building a real connection. So you've learned about packaging and now you've learned about being real with yourself. Now, here's one last thing that should really help you out with your videos. Understand your reasons for making them. And what I mean by this is you believe in your videos regardless of the view count. There are so many independent films that have been made over the years that nobody has even recognized because they just don't get that kind of viewership and recognition. Heck, there are some really good YouTube videos out there too that maybe have like 1,000 or 2,000 views. Really good information, but just not that well recognized. So when you're recording your video, note that even if it doesn't perform as well as you wanted it to, you're still providing a truthful value and something that's a part of you and sharing that with the online community because you know it's going to impact someone sooner or later. You're making your video for a specific someone. So yeah, when you upload your video, your ideal viewer may not see it exactly when it's uploaded, maybe not the next day, or the next week, or the next month, maybe the next year. But do know that with time and the YouTube algorithm doing its thing, it will eventually come across that person if they will look at YouTube for one, but also with time, things happen. At the end of the day, you believe you have valuable information that needs to be shared, and whether or not your video topic is strong, you have something to share that can really help someone else. And think about it like this. Your videos act like a role model for maybe someone that doesn't have a role model in their life. That's how you can really be changing someone's life right now. So if my videos were not getting any views on YouTube, these are the 3 strategies that I would use to help improve the viewership of my videos. And especially doing it in a healthy way. Being a YouTube creator isn't necessarily about creating that next big video that's just going to go viral and everybody's going to want to watch it. I believe it's about creating that next big video that you and your audience are both interested in. And if you'd like to learn about my YouTube journey and how I got this channel monetized, then definitely check out the video right next to me, and I look forward to seeing you there.